Hi everybody, welcome to Lesson 1-2, Order of Operations and Evaluating Expressions. Our objectives for today are going to be to learn to simplify expressions involving exponents and using the order of operations to evaluate expressions.
Our essential understanding is you can use powers to shorten how you represent repeated multiplication, such as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2.
Our vocabulary for today, first off we have a power, which is a base raised to an exponent. So the entire thing there is a power. The base is the factor that's going to be multiplied, it's the 2. And the exponent is how many times we are going to multiply it. So we're going to multiply it 3 times, 2 times 2 times 2. Simplifying, this is replacing a numerical expression with a single numerical value. So we're going to take everything, do all the math, crunch all the numbers, and get one final solution or result. And evaluate. Evaluate means we are going to replace each variable in an algebraic expression with a given number, and we are going to simplify using order of operations. Now that order of operations again is PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponent, multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. Now remember, multiplication and division are treated left to right in the equation, or in the setup, and so is addition and subtraction. It is done left to right. Problem number 1 is just going to be simplifying powers. What is the simplified form of each expression? So we need to take that and just simplify it, do the math. So if we expanded it out, it would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 to the 4th power is 81.
You like my little think bubble?
Yep,
Okay.
nice thought bubble.
Okay.
All right, so 5 to the 3rd power, when we think of that, we see 5 times 5 times 5. And that's going to be 125. 2/3 to the 3rd power. We've got 2 times 2 times 2 over 3 times 3 times 3. And that is going to equal 8/27. And that is a fraction we cannot reduce, so we're just going to leave it as that fraction.
All right, let me get picky about fractions, guys. Please write your fractions straight up and down. If you start to give us funny looking fractions like this, it's really going to be hard to do the harder algebra problems.
And that's a slippery slope to looking like 8,127.
Straight up and down.
Okay, so why don't you guys take a look at these bottom 2 examples, pause the video, give them a try, and then resume when you're ready. So 2 to the 6th power is going to be 64. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I think I got them all right there. And 0.5 to the 3rd power is going to be 0.125. 0.125. Okay. And problem number 2, simplifying a numerical expression. So now we are going to apply the order of operations to simplify, to take all of these operations and all of these numbers and condense them down into one final number. So we start from left to right. We've got 5 times 7 minus 4 squared divided by 2. So we're going to do the exponent first. 4 squared is 16. 5 times 7 gives us 35. Minus, we've got a negative. We've got
do this.
We've got minus, we've got 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we see we did our multiplication and division at the same step. We worked left to right. And now we've got 35 minus 8, which is going to be 27. Now notice how Ms. Zirzo has written all of that work. Number 1, she has shown every step that she performed. You must show your work. Period. Secondly, you'll see she is working vertically down the page. Everything is being condensed down from what was above. So 5 times 7 becomes 35. You can see how we are narrowing down until we've got our final answer. That's what we want to see out of your work. So next up, we've got 100 minus the quantity 4 minus 1 cubed. So we do the parentheses first. 4 minus 1 is 3. So now that step is done. 100 minus, we need to do the exponent. 3 to the third power is 27. Lastly, we do our subtraction. 100 minus 27 is 73. Okay. Taking a look at letter C, we've got 12 minus 25 divided by 5. We do our division step first based on order of operations. We have 12 minus 5, which is 7. Letter D, we've got 4 plus 3 to the 4th.
Sorry.
So 3 to the 4th is 81. And we've got 7 minus 2 in the bottom, so we've got a 5. 4 plus 81 is 85 over 5. And when we divide by 5, we get 17. Okay. So pause the video at this point and take a look at the examples. So we've got 8 minus 3 is 5. So we have 5 cubed. Plus 8 squared is 64, so we have 64. Minus 2 to the 4th is 16. So now we do our exponent. 5 cubed is 125. Plus 64 minus 16. And our final solution is 173. Okay, letter B. 3 plus 3 cubed. 3 cubed is 27. So 3 plus 27 over 3 times 2 is 6 minus 3. So 3 plus 27 is 30. 6 minus 3 is 3. 30 over 3 is 10. Now, I do want to point out one thing. Whenever you see these fractions, guys, we can think of that fraction bar as a grouping symbol, like parentheses. So we would simplify what was above the fraction bar first, simplify what was below the fraction bar, and then do your division. So think of the fraction bars as being a grouping symbol like parentheses. All right. Problem number 3 is evaluating an algebraic expression. So our directions are saying that x is going to be equal to 4, y is equal to 8, and z is equal to 7. And we need to evaluate the following expressions. So this is all about plugging and chugging. So we're just going to plug the numbers in, do the math, and apply the order of operations. So 4 times 8 is 32, 4 times 7 is 28, 32 minus 28 is 4. Substitute in 4 for x, 7 for z, and 8 for y. 4 plus 7 minus 8. We've got 11 minus 8, which is 3. All right, so pretty straightforward. You substitute, you take the variable away, put the number in its place. Make sure to notice that that negative sign in front of the y is still there. We just substituted in the 8. All right. Now, I want you guys to pause the video and give the next 2 a shot, and then when you are ready, resume it. So we're going to plug in negative 3 for x and positive 2 for y. Make sure you are careful with that negative sign. You will hear that repeated over and over again for the remainder of this year. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, plus 2 is negative 10.
Please make your negative signs look like negative signs and not afterthoughts.
Yeah, not just like a smudge that you kind of erased. Make it very deliberate. All right, so we're plugging in the numbers again. 2 times 2 minus 3 times negative 3. So we've got 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Hey, look, we got a double negative there, minus a negative. What do we do for that?
Add the opposite.
Add the opposite.
Add the opposite.
And out here in DeKalb, we call that skewing. Same, change, opposite. All right. So you just flip the sign, and there you go. 4 plus 9 is 13. Okay, our last two problems. We have problem number 4, evaluating real-world expressions. So we have our scenario here. The shipping cost for an order at an online store is 1/10 of the cost of the items that you ordered. What is an expression for the total cost of a given order? And what are the total costs for orders of $43, $79, and $103?
2 questions.
There are 2 parts to this question. So first, let's start with the expression for the total cost. So we've got 1/10 times the cost, but that just gives us the shipping charge. And now we need to add the shipping charge plus our total cost.
Try to make your S look like an S and not a 5. So 1/10 of 43, $4.30.
Yes.
So I've got $43 plus my shipping charge. Oh, we're dealing with money, aren't we? Dollar sign. Dollar sign goes over here.
If there is units given to you in the problem, you must have units in your solution. So in this case, we are telling you we're talking about cost, we're talking about dollars. You must have dollars. Wow, look at Miss Erzo go, doing math without a calculator.
So early. $10.30. Well, and it's a good thing I'm writing it because we wouldn't read any of Mr. Boland's writing.
They haven't learned that yet.
Okay.
All right. Second up, problem letter B, we've got what is the expression for the spending money you have left after depositing 1/4 of your wages in savings. Evaluate the expression for weekly wages of $40, $60, $80, and $100. So one way you could look at this is you can multiply by 1/4 and then subtract that from your total, which is all fine and good. Or if 1/4 goes into your savings, how much is left that you could spend? You would have 3/4 of the money left to spend. So you could just multiply 3/4 times the 40, and that'll tell you what you have left to spend. So for $40, you would have $30 left to spend.
If I did it this way, $10 would go into savings, and once I took that $10 away, I would be left with my 30. So this is like a 2-step. This is kind of like a 1-step. Either way works.
Yep. Whichever way you see the problem, go with.
I've always seen it the 2-step. Mr. Boland is usually pretty good about seeing 1-step.
All right, so when we take a look at our next setup, 1/4 of $60 is 15, so 60 minus 15 would leave us with $45 of spending money. Okay. 1/4 of $80
Would be 20.
would be 20. 80 minus 20 is $60 in spending money. And lastly, 1/4 of 100 would be 25. So 100 minus 25 would give us $75 of spending money. All right. So like I said, if there's units in your problem, you must have units in your solution. We are asked how much money we have, and it is in dollars, not pesos, not euros. So we need to have dollars. All right, so again, we have another one of these little check for understandings just to see kind of where you think you are. Self-evaluate. Number 1 is I'm lost. Number 4 is I could teach this lesson. And write down any questions or confusions that you may have. Because you might forget them between now and tomorrow when you have a chance to ask that question. So write it down, and that way we can address them as we go over it.
And the part that everybody likes to skip, but it's really important for you guys to practice writing about how to do math. The more you practice the writing part of it, the easier your finals are going to be. You know, those finals that are way off in January that you're not thinking of yet, this is going to help. So we're going to keep working on this every day because math writing is a skill that needs to be developed.
All right. Have a great night, and we will see you in class tomorrow. Make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I am just that vain.